Hello, how are you? My name is Gemma and welcome to my Devon diary. Just over a year ago, my husband and I threw out everything we knew and took a massive gamble in moving our lives completely across the country. We left careers, jobs we loved, friends, family, our entire lives behind, bought a house that we hadn't even seen and started building what we hope to be our dream family life here in the beautiful West Country in England. A year on, we found our feet, got settled in, and we're looking forward to building our dream family life together. And I want to take you along for the journey, showing all the things I make, bake, create, and exploring all that Devon has to offer.
Hello and welcome back. I hope you're well. First of all, a little bit of housekeeping. Thank you very much to my new subscribers. I'm so pleased that you're enjoying the content and that you've chosen to sign up for more. It's really exciting to share this journey with you all. That said, also apologies. This is not going to be the same sort of content I've been putting out for the last couple of weeks. It's not going to be quite so polished, if you can call what I was doing polished. Then it's a diary, it's real life. And there's been a lot of real life going on this past week. We've had re-entry from our holiday. And we've got illness going around the house as well, culminating in an early hours of the morning visit to A&E with my son, our son, I should say, about 3:30 this morning, following advice from 111. So we are working on no sleep. You are currently balanced on a box and on windowsill, and I am endeavouring not to look like a floating head while hanging over the edge of the daybed in the office. But there we are. That said, I have got lots of things to show you this week. I've had a bit of a week where I've mostly just been knackered and not really wanted to do any crafting. I spent a lot of time playing a ridiculous game on my phone. So I decided that this weekend, the weekend just gone, would be the weekend of finishing things. And I have finished things and I've been doing creative things with my son, and it's just been lovely. And I cannot wait to get started and to show you. But yeah, so we're just going to dive in, I think. So, knocking things over. So last week I shared with you the Gnomes of Brimblewood book by Sarah Shearer, which has been published by Searchpress. And in my little pile of books that arrived was this beauty. I'm going to try not to cover up my face too much because it makes the audio weird. It's the Half Yard Autumn Collection from Debbie Shaw. And I've been waiting so impatiently for this one to arrive. My son is mad about all things autumn. He loves leaves and pumpkins and conkers and Halloween. And I've never really been a Halloween person, but it's just captured him in this magical way. Even from last year, he was obsessed. We watched Miss Rachel Halloween on repeat incessantly. This year it's Handyman Hal Halloween, which is a nice change from Miss Rachel. However, Handyman Hal seems to recycle a lot of the same footage year on year, which is getting a little bit old, a little bit quick. But there we are. We're not here to review children's content creators. We are here to discuss what I've been making. So this book arrived, Debbie Shaw, Half Yard Heaven. Half Yard Autumn Collection, beg your pardon. And I was so excited to dive in. Now, I don't have any of the pumpkins we made to hand because my son has stolen them immediately and I can't find them. I have neither of them, but there are definitely going to be more in our lives. If I flip open the page, let's see, let's flip open the page to where it is. Aha! So if you can see this picture, it's a rather lovely pumpkin wreath. And we set to making some fabric pumpkins. And I actually did this with Robin and have some little bit of footage because the camera was working of what we did. So it's really simple. You get these autumnal fabrics, and mine I'd actually purchased a while ago. I want to say back in May, maybe even a wee bit before that, when I went to see Mary of Patchwork Dreamer in Cornwall. She's in Bodmin Town Centre now. And I bought these really stunning fabrics from her, and Robin and I sliced up the fabric and made the pumpkins. He actually even had to go operating the sewing machine. I put the foot pedal on the table and I let him press it carefully. And I wasn't beyond whipping my hands out of the way so I wouldn't get sewn on if it went too quickly. But he seemed to really enjoy it, and we made 2 pumpkins. I'm quite excited to make more. We've got a polystyrene wreath that I bought from, it's in Tavistock, and I can't think what it's called now. I'll try and find out what it's called. I'm really, really sorry, ladies, that I've forgotten the name, and I can see it and I can see the shop, and I love shopping there, and you guys are amazing, and the name is completely escaping me, and I'm going to blame the lack of sleep. But I'd bought a polystyrene wreath for us to make an autumnal wreath together, my son and I, and so we're going to be attaching these pumpkins that we're making to them, which was really good, really exciting. I then had a trip to Hobbycraft in Newton Abbot because I wanted to do some autumnal crafts with my son, and I fancied doing a little bit of pumpkin decorating, and not the sort of pumpkins that are going to go rotten eventually. I'm holding on to this now. Not the sort of pumpkins that are going to go rotten eventually, but the sort that we can bring out year on year. But what we ended up with was a brown decoupage form, I think they're called. And it's basically brown paper moulded into a shape. Or it might be over polystyrene, I don't know, but basically it's the base for decoupage. And Robin and I had a go. I looked at the fancy papers, but it's like £4 for one sheet. I'm like, no, that's not happening. I knew I had some ordinary tissue paper at home in our art supplies cupboard, and I had PVA glue, and I thought it feels like a really nice, gentle craft that we can do together. Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
We are going to do some decorating today, aren't we?
Yeah.
What are we decorating?
We decorate our pumpkins, friends.
Our pumpkins, friends. That's right. So we're going to start with some tearing, aren't we? What are you doing, Robin? You doing tearing? Makes a good sound, doesn't it? What's it sound like? What's it sound like?
Oh.
What was that? What's that sound like? Is it crunchy or rustly? Oh, don't eat it. Oh, no, don't eat the paper.
Red.
So we've got yellow and orange. Do you want this orange as well, or do you want red?
Red.
Red? Okay, I'll give you some red to tear up.
I need to tear up red.
Okay, you tear up some red. What colour should Mummy tear up? Should Mummy tear up green or light orange?
Light orange.
Okay, Mummy tear up light orange. Squeeze. Big strong hand. Squeeze. Okay, I think that will do for now. We can always add some more in a minute. Right, so now where's your paintbrush? Because you'll need your paintbrush for this. And we'll put Thomas out the way. He can watch. So what we're going to do, look. Show me good looking, please. Good looking. Ready? I'm going to put your paintbrush in there. And
decorate.
yeah, you're going to paint the pumpkin.
I'm going to hold that.
Hold on 1 second, and then you can have a go. Right, so you can see Mummy's painting that all over with glue. And then we're going to take some tissue. What colour do you want first?
Red.
Okay, where's a little bit of red? There we go. So you put your red on there, like that. And I've not done this before, so Mummy's learning as well. And we're going to paint it with more glue.
I need to paint.
Okay, you got one sheet now? That's easier to tear, isn't it? Keep it out of the glue.
See the noise it makes?
Can you hear the noise it makes? Yeah, what noise does it make? What's it sound like? Oh, look!
What?
It's stuck to my paintbrush.
And on my teeth.
It got stuck on your teeth, did it? Right, shall we stick some more? No, don't eat it. Shall we stick some more on?
Yeah.
Okay, you carry on sticking
I know
them.
it's on my sleeve.
So that's all right. We can put your pyjamas in the wash. It's okay. I'm not too
I
worried.
get to put them down.
You could put them. Oh, definitely going to get more on your sleeves then, aren't we?
I
Okay.
do like it.
You do like it, right? Paint. Why don't you paint some glue on this side? Look. Oh, there you go. There's the bit you glued. Sorry, I moved it. I'm interfering rather than helping.
Finished.
Is it finished?
Yeah.
I can still see lots of pumpkin uncovered. Do you want to go and play while Mummy carries on?
I do want to play.
Okay, you go play. I think it's quite cute. We've still got a way to go, but Robin's got bored, so we'll wait and we'll finish this together
I like
later.
it with a spoon.
He's busy making a cup of tea now on his little table. So yeah, not many gaps left to fill. He's got bored, but I'll wait and do it with him later, as much as I want to carry on myself now.
So we spent some time doing some decoupage together. So he chose the colours and we spent some time tearing up the tissue paper, which is really good for building up finger strength in little ones. I'm learning so much about this now from my early years teaching. Yeah, he's getting quite good with the PVA glue. He quite enjoyed peeling it off himself afterwards. And yeah, it's not quite finished because you can still see brown through it. You've obviously got the bit at the top, although to be fair we could leave that brown, it's just the stem, and there's a bit at the bottom. I've had to really, that looks pretty, I've had to really fight the urge to carry on decoupaging without him because I'm finding it very, very satisfying. So this pumpkin, this ridiculous thing, cost £8, which is just shocking, but it's worked and we're going to bring it out year after year and he loves it, and actually I think it's really pretty as well. So there we go, new craft. Now, because of time more than anything, I'm not going to go too much into things that I've just been dabbling in. There's been a lot of evenings where I've just been too tired to do anything. I've been playing a ridiculous game on my phone. I've been in bed. Working with small people is wearing me out. They're like tiny teenagers, which is fine. I loved teaching teenagers, but these tiny teenagers like move at hyperspeed and you blink and something's happened, and you've got to be on all the time, which is fine. It's lovely. I love it. I love working with them. I am the happiest I've been in a very long while, but my goodness, am I tired? So I get in the evening and by the time Robin's in bed, I want to go to bed as well. I just want to go to bed. So I haven't been doing a bit of scrolling, but this weekend I decided I'm going to finish things. So I've potted about a bit of my granny square stuff, but there's nothing really to show you and I don't really want to talk about it. I'm not that excited, but what I'm excited about is my finishes. Are you ready for this? Okay, so this one isn't quite a finished object because I've still got the buttonholes to do, but ta-da! How cool is that? I've got little pyjamas. I've done little pyjamas. Let me take them off for you and show you. If you can hear weird sort of creaking noises, it's because the pillow that I'm leaning against is rubbing up against the bed frame and making a very unattractive sound. There we are. So I've obviously got a bit of tidying up to do, but there we are, look. Little pyjama bottoms, aren't they sweet? And I've even managed to hem them to very nearly the same length. There's a couple of mil in it, if that. And I'm just so happy with it. There's not much in the way of pattern matching going on. If I did it again, I would probably try and pattern match a little bit. I think. Maybe I would, maybe I wouldn't. There's the odd imperfection. There's a little bit of puckering in the hem there. But I, in general, am really pleased. So there's the trousers finished. I haven't managed to get him to try them on yet because in true toddler style, he's decided he doesn't like them. Not interested. Thanks, Mama. It's okay. This is fine. And I'm really pleased as well with the jacket. The jacket is completely finished now with the exception of buttons, and it got to 9:30 last night, and I thought, I'm not going to do the buttonholes now, I'll do them tomorrow night, because it's a setting on my sewing machine, it does it for me, which is I'm very pleased about, but I didn't have the brain at that time of night. 9:30 is definitely past my bedtime these days to start doing it. But let me show you the jacket. Look, it's got a little collar, and I've hemmed it. The hemming leaves a little bit to be desired on the bottom. It's not too bad. And it's the small things as well, like how you finish. I did try zigzag stitch, but it really didn't work. So it's like how you finish this by catching the facings into the hem. I think it's really clever. The bit I'm most proud of, you have to excuse, I haven't trimmed any of the little bits of thread off, so they are there, but it's proof it's homemade. I'm really pleased with the pattern matching on the pocket. I think in certain lights you can't even see the pockets there because of the pattern matching. So I'm really pleased with that little touch. The collar, I just felt, I cried when I made this. I was so frustrated. I found it so difficult to do. The sleeves, I thought he was going to have sleeveless pajamas at one point. Honestly, I did, because it was so difficult. And I was like, this shouldn't be this difficult. I'm a very intelligent, accomplished woman. I've run businesses. I've had careers. How am I being beaten by 2 bits of fabric? Oh my goodness. But there we are. It's a humbling experience learning a craft. But the collar itself just makes me so happy. I've made this. I have made this. I've made this little jacket, and it will have buttons on it next week, or next time I show it to you, it will have buttons on. And my toddler may have decided he wants to wear it, because he's gone from being ridiculously excited and wanting to try them on at every single stage to Sunday night. I mean, to be fair, he was probably going to be ill, saying, I really don't like those, Mama. I really don't like those. No, thank you. At least he's polite, I guess. So hopefully he'll be wearing those. And my next project, these are going to be, I think I'm going to wrap them up for his birthday, because my next pyjama project is to do the same pattern again, but with Thomas the Tank Engine fabric, because my little boy is a trainiac. He's a fully paid up trainiac. So the pattern is the pomegranate pajamas from Poppy and Jazzy, which is a kind of department offshoot brand name of Sew Over It London. I've followed Sew Over It for years, and I found it almost completely user friendly. It does say that it is beginner friendly, but I don't think it means brand new, completely incompetent beginner like me. I've done a couple of bits before. So I've done a little pinafore dress for my goddaughter, and I did a pair of shorts which were very similar to these trousers, actually, with elasticated waistband. But beyond that, I've really not done much. So it's been a bit of baptism of fire. However, every time I've posted about it, Sew Over It has liked the posts, which is nice. So it's like, yeah, it's a little bit of encouragement, and has helped me carry on. So the plan is, once these buttonholes are done, is that I've got Thomas fabric. I will either do it in the same size or the next size up, because I don't know realistically how long it's going to take me to do these. But all in all, I could not be happier. I made these. I'm so proud. Now, my next finish is something that I never thought I'd have to show you. It's been almost a year in the making. It's become my kind of opus. And each stage has been fraught with uncertainty, with me getting inside my own head, with just being a bit miserable about it, really, a bit scared. Again, scared of a piece of fabric. But I wonder how many of you can relate when you're trying something brand new. It's all a bit scary. I can't believe I finished this. And unlike the pyjamas, the moment I finished it last night and turned it out so that it was the right way in and you could see what it was, it felt completely and utterly anticlimactic. The final result is, to my mind, totally underwhelming. for the amount of effort, the tears, the work, the joy that's gone into the actual production of these pieces of fabric. The final object is so humble that I felt a bit pants when it was finished. I did send a picture of it to the recipient, who was meant to get this last Christmas, for context, and we are now in October, or October the 7th, and I started it November the 14th-ish. November the 14th, I think I went and chose the fabrics for this. So it's very, very nearly a year in the making. Yeah. So I sent a picture of it finished to her because I wanted her to see it before I showed anybody else. And she was so excited about it. It gave me a little bit of spark of joy again. But are you ready? You never thought you'd see this ever, ever, ever. Sit down if you're not sitting down. Put your drinks down if you're about to take a sip, because look what I've finished. I've done it. She's only gone and done it, folks. She's only gone and finished the blasted hot water bottle cover. The project that has bested me and frightened me and just, at every single turn is finished. And it looks so humble and so unassuming and, quite frankly, really underwhelming. And you wouldn't think this has been such a labour of love for the past 11 months. But there we are. So if you've not seen this before, this was my project that I chose to make as part of a festive gift swap run by Helen, who is, sorry, my voice is gone. My son is sharing his cold with me. You have to put up with me sounding husky. Helen, who is Flora Honeypot on Instagram, organises, and I signed up for it, and the deadline was clear. This is fine. This is not a problem. And the swap was to be carefully curated, a little box of joy, basically. And it was to include at least one handmade item. And looking at her Instagram and the fabrics she loves, and knowing that she just lost a dear friend, and that you kind of need a cuddle, and that winter's cold, and she seemed such a warm person, this hot water bottle cover seemed like the ideal project. Now, I blame my aunt for this entirely, because she's been cranking these out. Last year she cranked lots of them out and made it seem very, very simple. But then my aunt is a very talented sewist and I am not. I'm enthusiastic but terrible novice sewist, and this is fine. And I'm learning new things, and that's also fine. So it's the pattern is beautiful. There's nothing wrong with the pattern. There's nothing wrong with the tutorials. It was all entirely in the maker in this situation. It is the hot water bottle cover by Jules, who is So Sweet Violet. It is English paper piecing. I'm going to do a complete video of this, provided I haven't deleted all the bits yet, all the individual bits of video, where I will do a full project review at some point this winter, because it's been so disparate over the months and months and months. But anyway, what I had left to do was I had to cut the pieces, and if I turn it the wrong way out briefly, and you can see you've got a piece here. Then you've got a piece that is the top front, and you've got the back. So out of my quilting that I had to do, and I've got a couple of pictures that I can put on and show you. So out of the quilting and the English paper piecing that I'd done, I had to cut these shapes. So I had to cut into my hexagons, and to her credit, Jules does at least say, I know it's really painful to cut into these beautiful hexagons because the hexagons themselves are handmade. So I had to cut the squares out of the fabric. I had to wrap them around the hexagons, base them down. Then I had to arrange the hexagons, hand stitch the hexagons together into a fabric, then pin them to the wadding and the lining fabric, and hand quilt them, because I tried machine quilting and it was just a disaster. Machine quilting is not my thing at this point. So I'd done all of that, and then I had to cut into them. And yeah, There's a dog sniffing at the door. I had to cut into them, which was a little bit heartbreaking. And actually, I don't know if it was something to do with the sizes I'd done or my placement or the way I traced the pattern out, but a couple of them just got cut off completely. And I was left up feeling a bit, what is the point of that? So I did that. And then I was like, right, okay, now I need to sew it together. So I did all the cutting on Sunday morning while my son was awake, because I thought I want to do all the prep work. So I went to do it on Saturday, but I'd lost the pattern, typical. So I worked on the pyjamas instead. Not a total loss. And so I did the cutting out then. And I thought, right, now all I've got to do is sew it together during nap time. Fine. Then the next stage was to put the bias binding onto here. And you can see there's some more here, which just finishes it off. And I lost the bias binding that I'd bought for the project, which was the right width. So I then turned my bedroom completely upside down, looking for this bias binding, which I couldn't find, but I did find this really lovely it's satin actually, bias binding in this teal colour. I also had a white cotton, but I thought the teal would pop, and actually I'm really glad it did. And it turns out I'm really glad I lost the original, because as hard as it was trying to wrap this bias binding that really is too thin, it's too narrow for what I was trying to do around these layers of fabric, as tricky as that was, when I found the bias binding almost immediately after I'd finished the project, I thought, gosh, I'm really glad I lost it, because it was this completely boring latte colour, and the thing would have looked much flatter. So I went with this kind of blue linen for the back, and as you can see, I've got kind of pinks and greens and blues on the front, and this teal I think just really makes it pop and brings it all together. So there we are. I haven't finished the rouleau. I didn't do the rouleau loop. Rouleau. I've really struggled to say that. I tried 4 times to tell my husband what it was last night, and in the end I just said it's like a button loop. It's got a posh name that I can't pronounce, that I'll put on the bottom of the screen. And I started making it because you're supposed to do it before you finish sewing the binding onto the top bit. And it was completely outfoxing me. So in the end, I decided to do away with it completely. I was like, do you know what? It doesn't need it. It does not need this button loop. It does not need a button. Because I knew that if I spent the whole day working on this blasted loop, that it would be next Christmas before I finished the final thing. So I machine stitched. Yeah, you machine stitch along here to put the first, you have it this way up, backwards. You machine stitch along it, and then you fold it over and hand stitch it so the stitching doesn't show on this side. So I did that while we had visitors, and then I finished hand stitching it. And so then when Robin went to bed last night, I sewed it all together on the machine and turned it out and felt underwhelmed. So can you cheer me up in the comments, please? Is this as underwhelming as I feel it is? Be brutally honest, it's fine. Or should I be celebrating? Do you know the most ridiculous thing of all is I immediately want to make another one. I don't think it would take me a year this time. I think it would be a lot easier. Yeah, I think it would be a lot easier and hopefully a lot quicker. I've got some really lovely fabric. I could make one as a gift for someone. Or I could just make one for me. I've got some Peter Rabbit fabric to make one for Robin when he's a bit older. Although I might find some Thomas fabric. Who knows? There we are. So that's it. That is my opus finished. That's it for this week's diary entry. It's had some highs and some lows, but I think it's finished well, and I very much hope you'll join me for next week's instalment. Things I'm planning on doing over the week is these buttonholes. Will I come out of that triumphant or not? I'm also going to try making English muffins at the weekend. And I've got a couple of sweater projects to finish as well. Oh, update on Cabbage Watch just quickly. The sprouts are still sprouting. My herb garden has died and the roses are doing well. So that's it for the garden. Until next time, take care. Bye.